When we hear the term a kingdom, in this day and age, what usually comes to our minds are things like this. Images in our heads of ancient and present kings and their kingdoms. The likes of King David of ancient Israel, King Musa of the Mali Empire, King Salman bin Abdulaziz of Saudi Arabia, and King Charles of the United Kingdom. Kingdoms as forms of government in many parts of the world declined in the late 19th and early to mid 20th century. This was as a result of the rebellion towards colonialism and the lucrative slave trade, and people's desires of governing themselves by electing their preferred leaders of choice, hence leading to the emergence and growth of democratic republics.
Flying of the national flag and downing of the Union Jack.
In 2025, there are a total of 43 countries around the world that are recognized as kingdoms. Majority of them comprise as constitutional monarchs, where the head of the monarchy mainly plays a ceremonial role and has limited political power. But the rest are absolute monarchs, where the head of the monarchy is above all the arms of the government. Africa has such of a country, and that is the tiny kingdom of Eswatini.
I have applied for membership of the British Commonwealth of Nations.
And I am new to this task. I have in my predecessors an example I can follow with sanctity and confidence. I will work to strengthen the bonds of friendship that already exist between this kingdom and the international community. God bless you all.
Formerly known as Swaziland, very little is known about this tiny nation of the Swazis. The only thing that people outside Southern Africa know about Eswatini, it is its king, King Mswati III, who has 16 wives, where he occasionally chooses a new wife every year during the famous Reed Dance Festival, where a bunch of virgin girls and women dance bare chest in front of the king. Other than having this unique culture, the story of Eswatini is more to this. It all dates back approximately 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, when the whole region of Southern Africa was predominantly inhabited by the nomadic group of the Khoisan, who traversed the whole region searching for food and establishing new territories. During the same period, series of migrations by the Bantus living in the Great Lakes region of West and Central Africa started to happen. Majority of them choosing Southern Africa as their preferred point of destination. The hypothesis for this happening was as a result of conflict with the local ethnic groups, or famine and starvation. The Bantus that arrived in Southern Africa were referred to as the Nguni people, who consisted of the Zulu, the Xhosa, the Ndebele, and the Swati. They now make up the largest ethnicities in Southern Africa. The Swatis first established their kingdom in the mid-18th century in present-day Mozambique near its capital Maputo, under the kingship of Ngwane III. They later moved down to modern-day South Africa, until they were pushed further north to the foot of the Mholosheni Hills due to a conflict between the ethnic group of the Duandwe and the Mvedwa. They settled in this mountainous region and established it as the nation of the Kangwane, deriving the name from its king. Under its various kings throughout the 19th century, Eswatini was expanded as a result of conquests and incorporated more people into their kingdom and made them subjects. Its most famous king was Mswati II, who was the greatest of the fighting kings. He greatly expanded the area of the kingdom to twice its current size. He expanded it to include areas that are now parts of South Africa such as Joburg, Pretoria, and the Kruger National Park. But by the time the British were taking over the kingdom at the onset of the 20th century during the scramble for Africa, Eswatini had been greatly reduced to what it is in this present day. The British made Eswatini as one of its High Commission territories and ruled it indirectly for 65 years until granting it independence in 1968. Throughout the colonial era, Eswatini managed to maintain its monarchy. Soon after independence, its king, Sobhuza II, suspended the British-made constitution and ruled his kingdom by decree till his death in 1982. He was later succeeded by Mswati III, one of his sons, from one of his 70 wives. Mswati took over the kingdom at just the age of 18, and he has been ruling the tiny kingdom ever since. Just like any other nation, the Kingdom of Eswatini has its own problems. The main pressing issue about Eswatini, especially among its majority poor citizens, it is the current establishment of the monarchy as a form of government. Since the 1990s, there have been occasional pro-democracy protests across the nation. The protests have often been met with a heavy hand by the police and the military, enabling Mswati to maintain his grip on absolute power, as he is very aware that he will lose power if he accepts the people's demands. The other thing is the lavish spendthrift habit of the king and his family. In each and every financial year, over 8% of the nation's budget is allocated to the royal family. This enables the king to finance his extravagant lifestyle together with that of his 16 wives and more than 26 children, leaving very little amount of money to provide better basic services such as healthcare, to combat the nation's high prevalence for HIV and AIDS, food security, better wages, and education to its more than 2 million citizens. Not much is talked about this landlocked nation. This is because it holds no significant economic or political muscle in the continent, unlike its neighbor South Africa. The country of Eswatini is all about its king and his many wives and children, and how they misuse the taxes paid by the citizens to sustain their opulent lives, while most of its citizens languish in poverty and are beaten and killed for demanding accountability.
We are the youth of Swaziland, and we are so much depressed by the government. Whichever time our government is not being fair. You get me? Our government is not being fair. It's just the one man's land.